If you're wondering how to deal with a lowball offer as a home seller who has received one or a home buyer who wants to submit one, in this video, I'm going to share the biggest mistakes that sellers and buyers make around lowball offers, and I will also share strong negotiating tactics for dealing with them, how to know what the other party's thinking, and something called the law of the middle. Now, lowball offers are not for the faint of heart, but if you know how to work them, they can result in a successful sale. And even after an unsuccessful negotiation, you can still use the back and forth to your benefit. So let's first talk real quick about how to define a lowball offer. I think most realtors would consider anything lower than 10% below the asking price to be a lowball offer. On a $500,000 home, that's $50,000 below asking, or $450,000. On a $1 million home, that's $100,000 below asking, or $900,000. Now that 10% is not entirely universal, but it's about right. So why are lowball offers such an emotional issue? It's all about fear. Every buyer's biggest fear is overpaying for a home, and every seller's biggest fear is giving their house away below market value. So everyone wants a deal, and everyone wants to feel like they won, or at least like they didn't lose. So how do you do that? I'll get to what buyers should do in a minute, but let's start with sellers. Number one seller mistake is getting angry. This is the most important. When you receive a lowball offer, resist anger and try not to take it personally. Believe me, I know how hard it is because it feels personal. It's your house. A lowball offer it's almost like someone telling you that your baby's ugly. It feels highly personal and quite frankly insulting. But resist getting angry anyway. Why? Because it could cost you real money. Emotional negotiations leave money on the table. You want to be smarter than the buyer, so let me show you how. The second mistake is not responding to a lowball offer at all. Always counter, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of sellers get so mad that they just don't respond. They instruct their realtor to tell the buyer they're not even in the ballpark and to come back when they're serious, and this is a huge mistake. Even if your counter is at 1% or less below asking price, you should do it. Why? For one thing, you won't get hurt by countering. It can still be a verbal conversation and still private at this point anyway. But more importantly, you've probably heard the phrase final and best. That's the last number the buyer will throw out before the negotiation ends, resulting in either a sale or the buyer walking away. So the majority of buyers who submit lowball offers are expecting you to come back with a counter and are probably prepared to increase their offer to a certain amount. Maybe not to the amount you want, but they do expect it. If you don't keep the negotiation alive, then even though you're mad, you'll never know what their next or final and best offer will be. So let the buyer be the one to end the negotiation, not you. Even if you don't get an acceptable final and best offer after all that, at least use the buyer for market data. By that, I mean, let's say this buyer stopped negotiating at $475 on your $500,000 asking price, and you still don't want to sell. At least you know for sure what they would have paid. And if 3 more buyers come along after that, also at $475, then the market has spoken to you about the value. Now, some buyers come in at a lowball offer and simply won't budge off that number. They say, take it or leave it. I'm not coming up 1 penny, so don't even bother countering. There are only 2 reasons why a buyer won't budge off a lowball number. 1, the buyer is actually right and the house is overpriced. Or 2, the buyer is not really a motivated buyer. They might not love your house that much, or they're just testing you because it's been on the market for a while. They think you're probably desperate and can steal it at a great price. Or maybe the buyer is an investor who wants to flip it and he doesn't care. His margins are his margins, and if he can't make a profit, he has no problem walking away. In that case, maybe countering doesn't really move the ball down the field, but do it anyway just to be sure they won't come up. I'm going to get to what buyers should do in a minute, and that's super important, but I want to talk about the law of the middle and what buyers who make lowball offers are typically thinking. When a buyer sees a home that's been on the market for say 90 to 180 days, let's face it, they smell blood in the water and an opportunity to try to take advantage. I get it. The law of the middle is something I've seen thousands of times in the 25 years I've been practicing real estate. If your home is listed for, say, $700,000 and the buyer comes in with an offer at about $600,000, not only are they usually expecting you to counter, but they are usually prepared to pay on or about $650, Maybe it's 645 or even 660, but in their mind, the buyer almost always leaves room for negotiating, and their final and best number is usually somewhere in the middle or about halfway between your asking price and their first offer amount. Don't ask me why, but it's a thing. So if you know that, use it to your advantage. Okay, so I'm going to get to you buyers and what you should and shouldn't do. There are two situations where you probably shouldn't bother submitting a lowball offer at all. The first is for the home that has just come on the market. I'd say 99% of sellers would never even entertain a lowball offer right after putting the home up for sale. They're still in the high hopes phase, and why would anyone accept a lowball offer when the whole buyer pool has barely had a chance to even see the home yet? And the second situation is when there are multiple offers on the home or multiple offers are expected to be coming in. I'm not saying you shouldn't make an offer under asking price at all, but certainly not a lowball offer. I have never seen a home trade at a lowball number in a bidding war. It just doesn't happen. When there are multiple buyers vying for the same house, at least one of them is probably going to go up to the asking price or higher. And in big bidding wars, every offer is usually above asking price. So save your time and energy on that one. Next, if you're submitting a lowball offer, you greatly increase your chances of the seller accepting it by offering excellent terms. Maybe you close when the seller wants to close, you offer a big deposit up front, or you're paying cash. Maybe you agree to an inspection cap. Your realtor can certainly advise you on the multiple ways to use terms to make your lowball offer more attractive. The next mistake is giving the seller time to shop your offer. So shopping an offer is when the seller uses your offer as leverage to get a better offer out of another buyer. The seller or their listing agent dangles your offer, usually verbally, to another buyer by saying, I have an offer on the table right now at X price. If you can beat that, I'll sell it to you. So one way to avoid this is to make your offer available for only 24 hours and then take it off the table. If you don't have a response from the seller within 24 hours, just withdraw the offer and walk away. Now, a note on timing and the law. The listing agent who represents the seller is ethically required to present any offer to the seller within 24 hours. But the seller is not required to respond within any specific time frame or, quite frankly, to respond to you at all. So when your agent submits an offer on your behalf, there are 4 possible responses. The seller accepts it, the seller declines it, the seller makes you a counteroffer, or the seller ignores you altogether. Now, we've talked about what a mistake it is for the seller to ignore you, so they do that at their own peril. If they ignore you, you have 3 choices. You can walk away, you can come right back and improve your offer, or you can walk away and let some time go by, and if the home is still sitting on the market at a later date, come back with a new offer. So I hope this was helpful. Please do hit subscribe, and I will see you next time.